No more training camp, no more exhibitions. The 2018 NFL season on EA Sports is underway. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Walked round the block 1,000 times. You missed every call that I had tried. So now I'm giving up. A heartbreaking mid-December. You don't give a fuck. You never remember me. While you're pulling on his jeans.
And on the ground they go with a running back. Finding room at the 30. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. Right. comes here as the offense comes out. And so many positive vibes around this club entering 2018. Their third season back in L.A., a new stadium on the way. And coming off of last year, Charles, and you said this to me in the car on the way over, it's going to be interesting to see what this year brings.
That's because they will actually be the team that's hunted now. And they haven't been that for a long time, meaning they're sitting on top of the NFC West. Many people think they might be the team to beat in the NFC overall, even with the Eagles and the Vikings staring at them. So explosive on offense last year. Defense kept getting better. And in the offseason, the defense added cornerback Marcus Peters, added defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh, both Pro Bowlers. They think that they're ready right now to challenge for a Super Bowl, and they intend to go for it.
Now a give left side to Falk. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
A good pickup there of 20 yards.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. A great play there. 28 yards.
It was 100 degrees as we sat beneath a willow tree whose tears didn't care. They just hung in the air and refused to fall. It's a fall. And I knew I'd made a horrible call. And now the state line felt like the Berlin Wall. And there was no doubt about which side I was on. Cause I built you a home in my heart with rotten wood, and it decayed from the start. Cause you can't find nothing at all if there was nothing there all along. No, you can't find nothing at all if there was nothing there all along. I braved treacherous streets and kids strung out on homemade speed, and we shared a bed in which I could not sleep at all. Cause at night the sun in retreat made the skyline look like crooked teeth in the mouth of a man who was devouring us both.
Here's the Raiders punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. This is brought in at the 21. That'll be a 50-yard punt with 8 on the return. And the Rams will work their way back on the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
Something to watch here in week 1 of the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus, the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week.
On first down, it's Romo. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And they get him down right near the midfield stripe. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards, but also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks. A couple of first downs have them to the 40 now on 1st and 10. They go play action here on first down, eluding the pressure right. And flags come in as he gets forward for about 3 yards. Now let's check on the call. So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. Call it a gain of 13 yards on the play. And it's a 2nd down. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working.
And the Raiders have got him.
Well, that's the 2nd time he's been sacked so far in the first half. And if they have designs on having a big year, on going anywhere, they've got to find a way to keep him upright so he can throw the football.
They'll fake the give. Now Romo. And he's going to go down again. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Drives 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
John Gruden's return to the sideline, not going as planned thus far, but his Raiders do have it 1st and 10. And he'll be taken down for a loss back at the 3. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now this time he'll look to throw. Incomplete.
That one didn't quite make it. Of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes there's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down. Here's Cunningham from the gun. He's got a man. It's Williams. And they'll get him down up past. Thanks to that last play, a little more room to operate. 1st and 10 at the 18. Now a 1st down throw. Cunningham got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Out. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Cunningham over the middle, complete. It's Curry, and able to break one tackle. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Here we go. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the 2nd half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the 1st half. Maybe not so much in the 2nd half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
On 3rd and 2, Cunningham. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating 1st half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
They'll try and throw for it here. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Curry. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. A play fake. Now Cunningham. Throw left side complete. It's Curry. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. They've got another first down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. And he'll get 3 down to the 34-yard line.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Finding room to the 20. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. On 2nd down, here's Cunningham. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And he gets it down to the 32. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Again, the offense will stay out there. They've converted once on this drive. What can they do here on 4th down? Operating from the gun, Cunningham. And that is going to be incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Rams are going to take possession of the turnover on downs. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Unable to corral him. He fights through. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That goes for a gain of 31.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll take this one down to the 36. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Romo. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. Play action. It's Romo. Rolling to his left. He may try and run for this. When in doubt, do it yourself as he keeps it for 3 and a first down.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
They'll be brought down at the 21 after a pickup of 4. Well, earlier this half, you were wondering how they were going to defend him. I think you used the term bottle him up at different levels. They've struggled to do that.
They certainly have, because when you see them approach, in order to bottle them up at different levels, that front line's got to take care of business. Otherwise, he starts to sift through.
Two minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Oakland after this. To throw on second down is Romo. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Third and long here. It's Romo. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
They'll try to get forward, but he's going to be stopped in his tracks at about the 3.
Really shouldn't be a surprise. It's going to be hard to move people in this situation. You know they're going to bring the pressure defensively, because I remember playing in these spots, and my coaches always say, don't be afraid to try and create a safety, too. They're going to bring pressure.
To throw on second down, Cunningham. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. Third down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. To throw on third down, Cunningham. And the third down pass falls incomplete. We've seen this offense do some unconventional things thus far, but they couldn't go for it on fourth down here, could they?
Could someone patch us into the head coach's headset? Punt the ball.
And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. Pulled in at the 24. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Rams offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down. Here's Romo now on second down. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. The Rams on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Out of the gun, Romo. He's going to let this one go deep. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off by Vontae Davis. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, I tell you, Brandon, this ball's intercepted, but it is third down. So the silver lining is that since this is so far down the field and there wasn't a big run back associated with it, really this kind of works like a punt. It's not an altogether bad result.
Got some room at the 30. He's got the lane, and there he goes. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. A great effort there as the first half is winding down. And the Raiders, they're within an extra point of tying this thing up. Extra point right down the middle. And that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. This offense trots back out there now, and as they do, Charles, one thing to point out that we saw a second ago are some of the new rules in the NFL this year regarding kickoffs.
Yeah, nowadays, the kickoff team, no more running starts. Remember that when you got to circle a guy around and here he goes? No more. You have to start, close to the ball. And when it's kicked, then you get to take off and go, so you can't build up your speed that way. Also, when you're returning it, remember those wedges that we used to say where guys would form together, 2 or 3 guys? No more of those. So it'd be a lot more man-on-man, one-on-one blocking. And also, they have rules about where people have to be when the ball's kicked, where they have to be when the ball's caught. So to me, it's much more like a punt return than it is an actual kickoff return. So I'm eager to see if teams now take their punt returners, those nifty guys who make people miss in the open field, and make them the kickoff returners as well, because I think you can still get big plays in this area if you have the right people back there.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. To throw on 2nd down. Cunningham. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
That was a beautifully executed screen pass. They let the rushers get upfield and get the escorts in front, meaning the offensive linemen, other blockers out in front, completed the pass beautifully. So now you've got all that open space with big guys leading the way.
So from Rams territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Cunningham. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. He's to the 10. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. A great play there. Already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Raiders are able to cash in for 6. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 14-7. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now the attention turns back to the Rams offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The Rams on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Now Romo. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he will have the first down, but he winds up taking a pretty good shot that time. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. And they'll run it here. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you, because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play, because that's been an issue for them in this game. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. The Rams on third down, 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 8. A shotgun snap for Romo. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the first down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
So out come the Raiders, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. Looking to throw on second down. Cunningham caught left side. Williams. And he's able to get up here to the 26. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down. Cunningham. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
An 8-yard return there after a punt of 47. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And the Rams now coming out on the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Inside 4 minutes to go, third quarter. From the gun, here's Romo. And down he goes, brought down a Raiders sack.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
And he's got an open man, Clark. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And they convert on third with a gain of 22.
Romo and Clark. Damn.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. He'll get 3 up to midfield.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 50, it's Romo. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
The Rams on third down, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Romo. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
We used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this, when he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield, incomplete. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
In search of 8 yards on 3rd down. They've already converted 2 of these on this drive, 2 for 2. And the pressure gets to Romo as he goes down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
John Gruden's return to the sideline going swimmingly thus far as his Raiders have the lead and another 1st and 10. On first down, it's Cunningham. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, sometimes you just have to take things into your own hands, don't you? I mean, the offense is really struggling in this game. They're the ones keeping things going. They have to continue to play at that level.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And the Rams have got it back. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Running right, here's Falk. And 3 yards there, takes him to the 45.
Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
Now it's Romo. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. Call it a gain of 3. And all of a sudden here, it's third down. Here's Romo. Now they go screen. It's complete. He went backwards 5 yards there on third down to break up fourth. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
And a tough ask here. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 9. They are going for it. It's Romo. And the Raiders have got him. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And the Raiders with the football now in excellent field position. Oh, offensive nightmare there. You go for it on 4th, and the play doesn't even really get to develop a sack.
And it's so unfortunate, too, because you think you've got something good called, but if your offensive line can't hold up, that's often the result. They find a way back to the quarterback.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. And they'll go on the ground. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. On 3rd down, Cunningham. Flushed out right, and he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
And that was just situational football 101 right there. Excellent decision to throw that one away. You know he would have loved to have converted right there to keep the pressure on and build on this lead. But the best play, avoid the sack, taking care of the football.
A big one there. That gives them a little cushion and makes it a 2-score game.
Yeah, bled a little time off the clock, put some points on the board. It's not totally out of reach yet, but it has to feel pretty good to them right now because as a defender, you go out on the field and say, guess what? You can put some points on the board, but that won't beat us.
The Rams offense now making their way out to take over. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
On 1st and 10, Romo. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
I remember throughout my career here in defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. And they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Here's Romo going up top. And no, it's incomplete. No luck for the Rams as they fail here on 4th down. And the Raiders with the football now in excellent field position. And on the ground they go with a running back. And give him about 3 as he gets it down to the 22-yard line.
Well, that's a pretty good drive starter right there. And I don't know, partner, if you're even thinking about sitting on the ball right now. They may just want to run their regular offense.
In plus territory. And as an offensive coordinator, you don't want your team to go into a shell, do you?
No, you really don't, because as soon as you take your foot off the gas, it's real hard to put it back on and mash it, because once everyone's emotions come down, hard to start them up again. So I think he may want to keep them cranking high right here.
It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. Finally, a first red zone opportunity for these guys. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. They'll go option to the short side, and they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
And on this play, the read for the quarterback was the defensive end, and he was totally focused on the quarterback. He should have given it off inside to the running back. Instead, he kept it and ended up taking a loss on the play.
And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down. The Raiders on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This will be 3rd and 15. Out of the gun here, it's Cunningham. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And his kick is good. And that will open the lead up now to 20-7. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And last time, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. We'll see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game, and sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Raiders have recovered.
Brandon, I don't want to violate any of our broadcasting rules by declaring a game over before it's over, but that one, that puts them in real jeopardy there.
Absolutely. It was a 2-possession game. It is a 2-possession game at this stage in the 4th. They needed points out of that drive.
And obviously now, no chance at all to get those points that they so desperately needed.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. He lost 6 there on the first down play. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
They get just a yard back there, and now they'll be looking at a tough 3rd and 15.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The Raiders on 3rd down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This will be 3rd and 15. Cunningham. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Good contain. No gain on the screen, and it'll bring up 4th down. And now the Rams are going to halt things as they want a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And the Rams getting set to go now. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? An excellent pickup of 34 yards. The big play has them all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. Now Tony Romo on 1st down. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 42-yard line. To throw is Romo. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
Yeah, once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. 2nd and 10. Romo once more. Going for the deep ball. And that one almost intercepted. Call it a 50-50 ball. It falls incomplete, and now 3rd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. That one good for 15 and a 1st. But correct me if I'm wrong, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
On the slant, he gets it to Clark. And it's a fumble. And the Raiders have recovered.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
Only able to make it to the 15 after the nice move. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Decent start defensively to this series. They've got to stop them here and get this ball back.
I like the way you phrase that, partner. Decent start. But now it's got to be more about the ball. It's all about the ball. Getting it away from them, because making good tackles is one thing, but the clock will run out on you. You've got to have the football back for your offense.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Despite the lead here in the 4th, they're still taking shots.
Not content to sit on this lead at all. And to me, it raises the question of what's right in this game nowadays. Do you sit on the ball and run it because you have enough of a lead? Or do you try and extend it because you always feel like the other team can come back?
Extend it. Have some fun. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. This will be fielded at the 17. Whoosh. And now running right through it. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And out will come the offense as they take over. So now here are the Rams as their offense comes back out. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly
you
right.
like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. So word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Romo here on first down. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And the Raiders pick it up. Past the 20. And how about the big boys showing off the wheels?
Let's face it. Anybody who watches a game, even if it goes against your team, when there's a big man with the football, everyone locks in.
All eyes.
Everyone locks in, and the rumbling, you can feel it all the way to the upper reaches of the stands.
The defense gets him the ball via the turnover. Now can this offense cash in? First and goal. And they'll run it here. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Only a yard on the pickup there. Second and goal. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in. And all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is, first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
He'll get it up the middle. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's third and goal. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play. Third and goal. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. Now this is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Third and goal, option right. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Now it looks like we've got a Raider here, slow to get up. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board. Ended up settling for 3.
Now the Rams offense, they worked their way back on the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because it didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over. Line
of scrimmage, again, the 25, second and 10. On second and 10, Romo. He's got his man on the crossing route. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards. On first down, it's Romo. And a quick throw here, that's complete.
Oh, that's sweet.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. But this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
Now, I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule, where the offensive player fumbles the ball, it goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just because you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But this is where, for the offensive team, the sideline is their friend. Usually it's not their friend.
Yeah, exactly right. I actually played for a guy in college. You know what he used to name the sideline? Sammy. Sammy sideline, and use him well.
It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that'll make it second down. Again, Romo. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll go down at the 28. 5 yards on the pickup, and that's going to bring up a third down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as he'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. From the red zone now, Romo. Buying time to... Now Romo hit, and he loses the football. He had it jarred out, and the Raiders have recovered.
Well, that drive wasn't a case of wanting to put points on the board. It was needing to, having to, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah, didn't get it done, and now you look at the situation and the point differential, 2 scores, pretty much game, set, match.
How about the takeaway, though, huh? How about those defensive guys?
The D can only stop it one more time as they take the knee.